What's going on, everybody? It's Lightning Stove back today with another video. Today, I got my good friend Kyle Kenny back today with me. Say hey, everybody.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Today, we're gonna cover Kisame Hoshigaki, the demon or the monster of the hidden Abyss Village, guy who has Samehada, guy who is just a monster of the Akatsuki. Because I never covered Kisame in a fight. It's been like ages since I've even talked about it in a verse battle video, and someone requested this fight a long time ago, so I thought I would just go ahead and pit him against the Taka of the Naruto series, Sasuke, Jugo, Suigetsu, and Karin, and pit him against the road ninja of the Akatsuki of the Mist Village. So, this is a good idea. I love Kisame, I love Sasuke, and the rest of Taka. So this would be a fun one to cover. We're gonna do two versions of this fight. We're gonna do the version of Taka that fought B, like fresh Manku Sharingan Sasuke that fought B. And then the 5 Kage Summit venue, Taka, just to kind of give a balance in the video. So, I don't think there's too much. I mean, the venues of the fight could just be like where they fought each other, each respective fight. Like the Cloud Village, whatever, that little platform they were on, and then the 5 Kage Summit venue, simple. So yeah, there's really not much else to go off of. So versus B, like the Taka that fought B. Now, this is, again, Sasuke, who's just fresh out of his Manku Sharingan abilities, so he's not really used to using them a whole lot. But this team of Taka is like nothing. Kenny, you got any thoughts about Taka?
I think with this version of Taka, they haven't really got their teamwork together the way they would need to for this kind of fight. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I do think they have the skills necessary to fight Kisame, but I don't know if they've got what it takes to pull it together. You know?
Yeah. So like for everyone who knows that Taka, like, Karin's going to be she's going to be a healer. She's going to be like full support. There's really not much she can do as far as like power wise. I mean, she got some poison maybe that could help, but I can't see like her getting too much involved for the sake of making sure she's, still being able to heal the rest of the team. So it really is going to be like 1v3, Sasuke, Suigetsu, and Jugo fighting Kisame. And like Kenny said, like they haven't really fought as a team a whole lot. So that might play a factor, but so one thing I will say is that, just to kind of get like the more questionable things out of the way, we're not entirely sure if Amaterasu, because I know that's one of the things that people will bring up, if Amaterasu is going to be a factor here, because me and Kenny were unsure if Samehada could actually absorb the Amaterasu. It is technically chakra, so like I think that there's a case that could be made for it. But though it is like inextinguishable flames, like it burns anything it touches, so it's kind of a 50-50, like it's an on the table possibility. But so if that is the case and Jugo and Suigetsu are able to press Kisame hard enough, then I feel as though if Sasuke's quick about it, which is Sasuke, like he's a very meticulous tactical fighter, I think that he could like manage to launch an Amaterasu quick enough and at the precise time he needs to roast Kisame, if he can't absorb it through Samehada. Now, I think Kisame, for the most part, may or may not be like expecting Amaterasu from Sasuke, since he knows it's Itachi's brother. So there's a case for that. I think it's a 50-50 chance that he gets caught by Amaterasu regardless, whether he can absorb it through Samehada or not, or whether or not he's expecting Amaterasu from Sasuke or not. So it's really up in the air. Kenny, you got anything to say about the Amaterasu?
No, I'm pretty sure you covered it regarding the Amaterasu. I mean, I personally feel like Samehada should be able to absorb it since it's chakra based. I also feel like there's a statement he made that where it might not even hit, because Kisame isn't slow by any means. He's seen it before. Mm-hmm. He could probably react in time to dodge if needed.
He probably like noticed that Sasuke's eyes bleeding, and then be like, "Oh crap, it's." He probably wouldn't expect Amaterasu like outright, but he'd be like, oh, "Okay, it's a monkey Sharingan ability for sure. Like I need to be on my toes or something like that." So, so if Jugo and Suigetsu are able to press Kisame hard enough, which I think it's possible. I mean, Suigetsu and Jugo are like nothing to sleep on. They're definitely tough, and even Kisame kind of like recognize Suigetsu as a competent fighter. So I think that they'd be able to press Kisame good enough for Sasuke to actually land it. I told Kenny that on the subject of Genji, which I also am debating on whether or not it'd be able to land against Kisame, because again, this is Kisame who has been partnered with Itachi, who is the master of Genjutsu for years now. I think he'd be able to expect Genjutsu from Sasuke since it's Itachi's brother, and like he probably like I mentioned at the beginning, like Kisame knew right when Datara was placed in a Genjutsu by Itachi. Like Datara's like, when did the Genjutsu even happen? And Kisame's like, right from the beginning, like right when you looked at the Itachi's eyes, you were already under his Genjutsu. So like it seems like Kisame himself is pretty aware of how Genjutsu itself works, let alone like from Itachi. So I think that he'd be expecting Genjutsu. So I would make a case he probably wouldn't look Sasuke directly in his eyes. But again, going back to like Jugo and Suigetsu like pressing Kisame hard enough, like Sasuke might, because he was quick enough to put B under a Genjutsu, like as B was getting ready to blitz them. So it's obviously shown that Sasuke's quick with Genjutsu, and B was only able to break out of that because he had the 8. Kisame does not have the 8 tails. He is known as the Tailless Beast, but does not mean he has a Tail Beast inside of the help. So if he gets caught with Genjutsu, it's arguable that he could maybe break out, but it'd take a minute, I would assume, and that minute is probably long enough for Sasuke to launch an Amaterasu while Kisame's incapacitated and then just get the job done there. So, Kenny, you got anything to say about that one?
No, not really, man. It's like, I mean, Kisame was there when Guy made the whole statement, like, you know, to fight a Uchiha, watch their feet and stuff. So, I mean, I feel like he has a way to deal with Uchihas, you know?
Yeah.
Since he was working with Itachi, and being what the Akatsuki is, it's like, he had to at least be prepared in case he ever had to fight Itachi, you know what I mean? Like, it had to run through his mind, like, how would I beat this guy?
Yeah.
If I needed to. How would I take him down?
Yeah.
So I feel like he would definitely try to avoid the eye contact, but if Sasuke puts him in a Genjutsu long enough, there's really nothing he can do about it. You know, it's done.
And like you said, like the teamwork here isn't like, you know, stellar because they haven't been fighting as a team for that long, but the sheer fact that like we're going to be working together as a team, it's I think that they'd be able to press Kisame hard enough. Now, I'm not trying to sleep on Kisame, but because I do think that if Kisame does summon the giant lake, and it could like put the battle more in his favor. But I also did mention to Kenny that, I mean, if that happens, Suigetsu can just use his giant water form that he used to fight the 8 tails, which was pretty impressive in its own right, being able to even hold off the 8 tails for that long. And he can use that to get them out of the giant lake. Or Jugo can just use this little rocket thing that he's got in his back and get them out that way. So, or at least, you know, depending on how big, you know, Kisame makes the giant lake. But I feel like at some point, because of what they have at their disposal, they'd be able to escape it at some point. Maybe they are underwater long enough for them to like die from not being able to breathe. But I feel like at some point they'd be able to get out of it, you know, again, relatively easy. I feel like so. But because like Kisame, like what let's say what Kisame could do, and I mean, he is strong. Like he's like there's nothing to joke. He's fast enough to keep up with like 6 and sort of 7th gate guy. Like he was doing pretty well without Samehada against 7th gate guys. So like Kisame is definitely fast and he's tanky enough to probably fight them all. It's just one of those things where like they have more tools at their disposal to fight someone like Kisame. Like and so maybe if Kisame like summons some clones or whatever and like tries to go to town on them, I think it'd be a good scuffle. I think maybe some like 2 or 3 clones would maybe enough to press Jugo and Suigetsu, and maybe Kisame just tries to deal with Sasuke himself, which, I mean, who knows? Like, I think that, like, as when it comes to sheer power, Kisame would probably overwhelm Sasuke, but like I said, Sasuke has got, like, a little bit more tools at his disposal. Like, he's also got lightning style, which, you know, kind of beats out water style. So, I don't know if Kisame's jutsu arsenal would be able to like necessarily combat maybe like a giant water sharp bomb. I know I'm rambling. It's one of the things like I'm trying to like think of ways that Kisame could take it, you know, considering that it's like a 3v1. Kenny, you got anything? Because I'm kind of like at a loss when it comes to how Kisame.
So I mean, with this form of Taka personally, I don't even know if he needs the Great Lake for this one. I feel like he has enough raw speed and power to take him down one by one. You know what I mean? Like. Because once Karin's out of the picture, if he's smart enough to go for her first, once he sees that she's the healer, you know, take her out, and then I feel like he could pick them off. You know, if we can avoid the Genjutsu, he can handle all of them individually. Yeah. You know, like B performed really well against all of them. I don't see a reason why Kisame couldn't do just as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't feel like Taka has, like, at this moment, a strong defense to go against him with. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And me and Kenny discussed it before, like, we started recording. It's like, if we did this scaling-wise, B flattened Taka. I mean, let's be honest. Like, they weren't doing good at all. Like, I'll give it to Taka that they were doing, you know, decent enough considering who they were fighting. But even before B went into his tail beast form, he was, like, just, like, no diffing them for the most part. And, like, this same B was more or less flattened by Kisame. Like I said, B was doing pretty well, but Kisame went to town on B. So, realistically, scaling-wise, Kisame should be enough to beat this Taka. And it's one of those things, though, it's like Naruto fights aren't exactly, you know, you can't just scale one character above the other because he beat the character that beat this character. Like, it's not like Dragon Ball where it's like teamwork could play a factor in this fight. It's just one of those things, like we said, you know, they're not used to fighting as a team yet, so like maybe it won't play as big of a factor against Kisame as we initially were saying.
For this Taka, like the only win condition they really have is that Genjutsu. You know what I mean? Like they don't have a really good assault to put against Kisame without that Genjutsu landing.
Yeah, or Amaterasu. But again, like the Genjutsu and Amaterasu is a 50-50 chance.
I feel like without the Genjutsu, I really don't think he's landing it. I don't. But like we never see Amaterasu do anything. You know, it's just it always looks cool, but it never actually performs.
Yeah, we did the bring it up. We brought that up during recording. Before we started recording too, is like Amaterasu is like this legendary hyped up jutsu, but in all honesty, I've never seen it actually kill a character. You know, not
besides like some scrubs, you know.
Yeah, like I mean, no one that really is of any importance that it should really needs to work on. You know, it never really kills anybody it really needs to. So if we had to use the feats from the series, then Amaterasu probably won't be much of a factor. But I'm not saying that as a definitive case. I definitely think that it could kill Kisame if it lands. And the one thing I will say to end this like B Taka section is one thing. Like, if Sasuke didn't care at all and he just wanted to hurry up and get the fight over with, he could just launch Kirin. Like, it's shown that he is able to launch Kirin without having to summon a rainstorm. It just probably takes a little more chakra to do so. But if he really wanted to end the fight and not cared about Jugo and Sugetsu's and Karin's safety, like, he could just like off rip use it and end the fight, because there's no way Kisame's either blocking or dodging that. So, but in this case though, I think that because of their teamwork's not as impressive right now, and they're not used to fighting as a unit, and the fact that Kisame's got like a lot more raw strength, you know, overall than they do, maybe you could probably make a case for Jugo like having some raw strength. But we agree that Kisame would probably take this more often than not, maybe like a 7 out of 10 times. I definitely see their teamwork maybe playing a factor, but I think Kisame would, because of how strong and how quick he is, I think he'd be able to overwhelm them by sheer, you know, raw power, especially if he is able to summon the giant lake and catch them off guard and maybe in the fight quick enough before they can get out. Then yeah, I think Kisame wins.
Yeah, I gotta agree. I think as long as he plays it smart and you know, if he doesn't just try to stay straight on Sasuke and he picks him off one by one like he should, then I feel like he definitely takes it at least 7 out of 10. And this really just boils down to that Genjutsu, you know? Like, I mean, obviously if Sasuke is able to get that off, it's game.
Yeah.
You know, we just don't know if he can't against Kisame.
Yeah.
But yeah, I totally agree. I'd say 7 out of 10.
All right, so now we're going to go into the 5 Kage Summit. I think this one's going to be a little quicker because now, obviously, Sasuke has a Susanoo. Yeah, we pretty much covered everything except for the Susanoo. And so, this one, I'd be honest, I'd be like a little bit more remiss if I said that like Kisame has much of a chance here, because, I mean, I don't know how like summoning the giant lake would work in this venue. I imagine it probably would still work the same, but I don't know if Kisame would try to do that in this venue. He'd probably wait till he get outside to do it. But either way, that would be his best and safest bet in a fight like this, because that would probably hinder Sasuke's ability to use the Susanoo as far as attacking wise. I don't really see like his half full body armored Susanoo being able to move a whole lot in the giant lake. Like, he could probably still use it as a defense, either the skeletal, like the skeletal form, or the full body armored Susanoo. But either way, like he probably won't. Maybe he could shoot an arrow, maybe, but I don't know. Like I think Sasuke would probably be more concerned about getting out of the water than trying to attack Kisame in the water. And I guess the factor that Suigetsu or Jugo can get them out still exists. But as I said, other than that, I think that's like the only thing I could see Kisame. If he's on the ground, like in the venue itself, then yeah, I feel like Taka's gonna be able to overwhelm Kisame just by sheer like raw strength from both Suigetsu, Jugo, and then Sasuke. So, pretty much, and now this is a Sasuke who's more used to using his Mangu Sharingan as it is. So he'd be a lot more proficient with Amaterasu. I mean, as we saw, he was able to actually manipulate the flames to like go on his shield as an extra line of defense. So I can't see much like Kisame could do. Maybe if he's Samehada, I don't know, like I said, some of the giant lake.
Yeah, I don't think he really has a whole lot here either, because like even if he does the lake, like you said, Suigetsu or Jugo get him out of the lake. At that point, Sasuke could set up the Susanoo and go for the arrow shot and just snipe him.
Yeah,
out of the lake.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, I don't know how the speed scaling there would go. I don't know if he could dodge it. The arrow's pretty fast, but I also know that Kisame's a lot faster in the water too. But he can't just stay in there if they're all outside. He's going to come out, At this point, he's got the defense because the Susanoo that Kisame can't do a whole lot to Sasuke specifically. Like at this point, Sasuke alone is a pretty good match just for Kisame.
Yeah.
And now you've also got the rest of Taka backing him up.
So, yeah, I hate to be like that. 'Cause like my initial plan for this video was just to do the Taka that fought B, but I feel like I get those comments in the video if I didn't at least cover the 5 Kage Summit Taka. But yeah, because I mean they were all doing pretty good against for what the opponents were. They're doing pretty good against the 2 Kage in the venue plus all their aides and whatnot. So I want to say that their team
the fact that they stayed alive is impressive.
Yeah, yeah, the fact they were alive is definitely something to be said, like for real. And so I think. I feel like we're sleeping on Kisame a little bit, but I still think he does well. Like I don't mean to say in this section that Kisame gets completely white. It's just I think that Taka at this point has a lot more like they have better synergy this time around, and the fact that like Sasuke just has a lot more at his disposal. Again, go toe to toe with 2 Kage by himself, relatively. I feel like Kisame, maybe like a giant water shark bomb could to take him out, but I want to say that maybe Sasuke's Susanoo arrow could probably do the job, at least canceling it out. So I don't know. I hate to say that I'm sleeping on Kisame, but I just think that he's going to get overwhelmed by the end of the day.
Yeah, I'm of the same opinion for that one. I feel like I said, Sasuke by himself it would be a pretty good fight in that situation. I mean, like even before Taka, Sasuke was a good match for Deidara, and he's far stronger now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, not even comparable.
Yeah.
So that Susanoo has so much to his disposal as far as power and defense that I think it's too much for Kisame.
I agree. So, well, that's going to do it for the video. Thank you, Kyle Kenny, for being on this channel again, as always.
Appreciate it, man. It's always fun doing these Akatsuki fights.
Yeah, as I said, I'm going to cover some more Akatsuki. I know I've been on Itachi's case for a while, so I'm going to definitely switch it up to Akatsuki videos. So, if you got any more suggestions for videos, please leave them in the comments. But hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you like the video and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And until my next video, like snow, out.